Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible. It's time to lift your spirit. And Jill Berlin is here to motivate and inspire you. Welcome to the Jill Berlin Show on Triad Today.
And welcome to the Jill Berlin Show. I am so excited to have you here. And I am really grateful to be here on this Thursday morning. And it's beautiful outside. Super sunny. And you would never, ever think that it was fall and going into Thanksgiving. But, that's North Carolina weather. All right. Let's start with our positive quote of the day, as we always do. And this is by Helen Keller. Helen Keller said, "When one door of happiness closes, another opens. But often we look so long at the closed door that we do not see the one that has been opened for us." All right. That is just basically a way of saying, look and see what opportunities are in front of you. So, what are some opportunities that you have financially that maybe you're not thinking about? So, a lot of folks that I'm meeting with, we are talking about their investments. Why? Because everything is crazy right now, right? Prices are going up and no one's getting paid more. Prices for health insurance are going up and no one's getting paid more. So people are talking to me about what are their financial investment opportunities and what are things that they should not be doing. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about two of the most popular things that we talk about with retirement financial planning. And here's some secret tips, okay? I'm going to make it super simple. All right. People have an IRA, and then a lot of people will get an annuity. People want to know what is better and which one's worse and why and what should they do. Well, first of all, if you ever want to meet with me and discuss it about your 401k or your what you have in investments, I'm happy to meet. Jill at rsvp65.com. Jill at rsvp65.com. This is a free consultation. Okay. This is not something that you pay for. It's a free consultation. And the reason why I do it is believe that it is important to arm yourself with information, right? Information, knowledge is power. So what we do is we talk a lot about what's their life insurance, what is their health insurance, what have they saved, what have they not saved, what do they want to save, what are our options. So something that we talk a lot about is IRAs versus annuities. IRAs versus annuities. So here's the deal. An IRA is something traditionally you get when you work, right? There's a Roth IRA, and then there's a traditional IRA, it's 401k, right? And these are essentially the benefits to them is it's a tax advantage, right? So you can defer taxes and then pay those taxes later. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I think the Roth IRA is better so that you can pay taxes on those withdrawals and you can pay taxes now. Why? Because the amount of taxes that you're paying now are lower because you don't have as much in there versus when you have to pay them later, taxes are always going to go up. It doesn't matter who's in office. You can sit here and say that the Republicans say this, the Democrats say that, but it's a great talking point on the campaign trail. However, taxes are always going to go up. So you will pay more in the end if you do not have a Roth IRA, but there are tax advantages to these investments. Okay. Also, flexibility. With an IRA, you have flexibility. So you can take out, which can be very compelling, right? So you can adjust your investment strategy. You can go aggressive. You can not be aggressive. And it just depends on what stage you are in your life, whether you want to be aggressive or not, right? So this is a risk tolerance question. This is, do you want to withdraw funds for emergency question? What are some of those restrictions? And what about how do I leave a substantial amount of inheritance to my heirs who are gonna, my child, my niece, my my nephew. So well, another thing that people want to know is they say to me, okay, well, I have this 401k, but I don't want to be risky and I don't want to lose it. So long. I'm still working. I got another 10 years and then I'm going to retire. And I want to make sure that there's money there. And here is what I tell people. We are seeing a lot of crazy things go on with politics right now, right? There's tariffs, there's inflation, there's Democrats versus Republican, there's a government shutdown, historical. FAA is like shutting down flights because of this government shutdown. So here's what I tell people. If you want something safe, if for instance, you want to go to Vegas with $1,000 and come back with $1,000, guarantee there is something out there and it's called an annuity. Okay. This is a safe investment. This is how you may go to Vegas and you may make more money, but you certainly aren't going to lose that $1,000. Okay. So with these annuities, this is completely opposite of that 401k, right? So there is not the market risk. There is not a huge growth potential. So, like if the market just spikes, you're not going to spike with your income. You've got a fixed amount. It's like a stair step. You keep climbing one stair at a time, and it's consistent and it's level, and you know what you're getting. But if the market goes down and you make $0 that month, guess what? Zero is my hero because I'm coming back with that $1,000 and I'm not paying more, or excuse me, I'm not losing more. The carrier is, but I'm not, right? So zero is my hero because I have not lost money. They have, but I haven't. And no matter what, I'm still coming out ahead because if the market goes up, guess what? It's that stair step, right? And then, oh, wait a minute. I've climbed 5 stairs and now all of a sudden the market's really taking a turn for the worse, right? The politics is crazy. You never know what's going on. You don't know what President Trump has said to like affect the market or tariff or whatever. And then what do? You basically pause at step 4, right? You climb 4 steps and then you take a pause. Zero is my hero, right? Because you may not be making any money and you're just on a holding pattern with that step forward, but you're not losing any. So with the annuities, the appeal is that you're not going to lose money and it's a fixed income. So a lot of people will take out money from their Social Security when they can at 62. All right. I advise you to wait as long as possible, even if it's just a year. Even if it's just a year, wait as long as possible. So if you do that, a lot of folks will want to have something where there is also more fixed income. Why? Because people who are retired are worried about outliving their income. And guess what? It's happening. It is happening in a lot of states. And there's a lot of data out there that talks about how people who are retiring because of the baby boomers are going to outlive their income. Great problem to have, right? I mean, you're living longer, but there are options for you. There are options for you. By the way, the top 2 states where they outlive their income, number 1, New York. Number 2, Hawaii. Anyway, and then the least opportunity to outlive their income, where they've done a great job with saving, Washington. Okay. Maybe it's because they're inside all the time because of the rain. Anyway. All right. I was thinking of Seattle. All right. So let me tell you some myths about these annuities, right? Because I've heard some people come to me and say, well, I've heard really bad things about them. For instance, I've heard people say to me, annuities are too complicated. Well, guess what? Any type of investment can be complicated. I mean, you can go into the weeds of what to invest in, what not to invest in, what stock to get, what stock to avoid. Do you put a stop loss on a stock? Do you not put a stop loss on a stock? What is a stop loss? It's basically like a seatbelt. So once it goes down past a certain point, you don't have to worry about losing money. But the reality is with these annuities, the reason why it's a bulletproof vest for you with your investments is because it is a legal contract between you and the insurance carrier. I'm going to say that again. Okay. If you invest in the stock market with 401ks, there's no security. There's limits that you can set, but there's no guarantee, right? However, an annuity is a legal contract with an insurance carrier. They are obligated to pay you what they designate at the beginning. Now, what's the catch? The catch is, remember what I said, if it goes way up, the carrier is going to make some money on that. If it goes way down, the carrier is going to lose some money on that. But no matter what, you are guaranteed a fixed income with a fixed annuity because legally, this carrier is bound to this contract to pay you. Okay. So a lot of folks that I talk with are really grateful for that because they want to make sure that they can get an income along with what they're making with that Social Security check or whatever else that they've stored away. All right, here's another myth. You'll lose all access to your money. Well, here's the reality. It's true that, our annuities are designed to provide income over time, but there are certain features that they have in withdrawal benefits. So death benefits is an option. Long-term care, medical emergency, that's an option. You're also getting that money out with that fixed income. So those are certainly options. Now, if you have an IRA and an annuity, it's kind of a great way to have both options, right? Because with the IRA, you can access that money, but there are surrender charges. If you surrender your annuity earlier, you will get penalized because, again, this is a legal contract, right? Between you and the carrier. But the 401k, you can withdraw that money and get out anytime. All right, annuities, except for there are certain ages that you can't withdraw. You have to be 59 and a half. Okay. Annuities are only for the wealthy. This is another thing that I hear. Okay. Annuities are only for the wealthy. Well, this is actually not true. They're designed to provide a steady income. And people ask me, well, what's the sweet spot? How much do I need to have? I tell people you need to have $20,000 to $25,000 in your 401k. And if you do, we can talk about annuities. If not, I'm not sure it's worth your time. All right. Now, myth number 5, annuities don't make sense in today's economy. Well, the government is shut down. Need I say more? All right. So here's the deal, you guys. At the end of the day, the most important part is to arm yourself with information. And I'm going to be holding seminars in January, not right now because it is crazy busy with open enrollment season, but I can do individual appointments, as I have said. This is a free consultation. Someone sat down with me and I got them all set with their health insurance, life insurance, and retirement planning. And then they looked at me and they said, how much do we owe you? And I said, oh, what about a hug? I felt like Buddy the Elf. But absolutely, this is a free consultation. Again, Jill at rsvp65.com. Jill at rsvp65.com. And that is the email. You can email me and we can set up a time to talk and just look at what you have. Not only that, this one mom came to me and she said, the reason why I'm grateful that some things she kept where she was at to diversify, because I believe in diversification. Some stuff she didn't. And at the end of the day, we compiled all of her papers together. It's in one packet and she knows where it's at and her daughter knows where it's at and her husband knows where it's at and it's all organized. It's hard. It's so hard to keep up with all that stuff in life, but I can help you. Okay. Jill at rsvp65.com. All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about this government shutdown and some of the delays and where you can go to check out if flights are getting delayed at your airport. Stay tuned.